Our business model has a broad structure. From the beginning, we've tried to integrate a circular economy or a sustainable management model because that corresponds to our philosophy to life. I'm Mr. Brunner. I manage a farm in the district of Kelheim in Bavaria. I'm married, have 2 children and a son and a daughter. The basis of our farming has always been pig farming. Then we have turned to energies. We've built a biogas plant, we have a photovoltaic plant, and we do our arable farming. My name's Robert Hergel. I'm a corporate customer advisor for agriculture at Volksbank Raiffeisenbank, Middle Bavaria. My daily work is to provide holistic support to agricultural businesses. I go to the farms, talk to the farm managers about their plans and strategies. We provide them with the appropriate funds in the form of loans from Rentenbank or Volksbank as the farmer's house bank. We always look for the best solutions for each farm. On our farm we cultivate about 180 hectares of arable land, half of which is corn. The other half is divided into winter wheat and winter barley for the pigs. The entire corn harvest is used for biogas. In the biogas plant, gas is produced from fermentation. The combusted gas is connected to a gas engine. This drives a generator which produces electricity that we feed into the public grid. The waste heat from the engine is used through a heat exchanger and allows us to run and heat all the stables, our house, and a small drying facility. That's the great advantage of the cycle, that you can use the whole value chain. There are 3 banking groups in Germany. First, there are the cooperative banks, which I represent with Volksbank. Then there are the savings banks, and then the commercial banks for the agricultural sector. For the agricultural sector, the cooperative banks are important. They are member-based. This has the advantage that the cooperative banks can't be bought by anyone because they belong to the members, that is, the customers. The bank's policies are determined by the members. For example, Mr. Brunner is also a member of our bank. My name is Klaus Hollenberg. I've been working at Agricultural Rentenbank for more than 20 years. Rentenbank's mandate is to promote agriculture, to support rural areas and the agricultural and food industry in Germany. In practice, this covers the entire value chain of the agricultural and food industry. We have several promotional programs to promote agricultural investments through the house banks. Typical investments in the agricultural sector are, for example, agricultural stables, machinery, as well as renewable energies such as photovoltaic systems, biogas plants, and wind turbines. Rentenbank is a federal institution under public law, which is a German peculiarity. To put it simply, the Federal Republic of Germany guarantees for Rentenbank's liabilities. That is why we have a AAA rating, which is the best rating currently available on the market. This means that we are under the legal supervision of the Federal Ministry of Food and Agriculture. We refinance ourselves on the international capital markets and grant promotional loans. These loans are granted to farmers and rural entrepreneurs through their house banks. We have a whole range of different funding programs that can be applied for any bank in a competition-neutral manner in Germany. The promotional programs of Rentenbank comprise program loans. In 2020, we granted loans totaling €6 billion to about 20,000 loan applications. We are able to manage these amounts with only 350 employees. Our balance sheet total is €95 billion. This only works in close cooperation with the farmer's house banks. A farmer applies to his house bank for a loan, for example, for a stable or a tractor. The house bank then requests the loan from us. It's a standardized credit product that is forwarded to the farmer or entrepreneur in cooperation with the house bank. Rentenbank is very well known in the agricultural sector. In my opinion, there is almost no farmer who does not know Rentenbank and its programs. Whether we take advantage of a promotional loan from Rentenbank or Volksbank always depends on the individual case, the respective farm and the investment. Whether the Rentenbank loan fits the investment or not is the decisive point, especially regarding repayment modalities and maturities. We have a standing relationship with Rentenbank. We process the loans directly with Rentenbank via a framework agreement. The customer turns to us as the house bank and applies for a loan. We forward the application directly to Rentenbank via a secure IT portal. After approved, we draw up the loan agreements with the customer. When the customer needs to pay the investment, we retrieve the funds from Rentenbank and forward them to the customer. With Rentenbank loans, the liability remains with the house bank, so the risk is with us. Rentenbank provides us with favourable funds for our customers. A very attractive loan from Rentenbank for our farmers is the Energy from Rural Areas programme. We use this programme very open because many farmers not only have a classical agricultural business but also a second source of income in the field of renewable energies, such as photovoltaics, as you can see in the background, or biogas. Biogas plays an important role in our region, especially for the livestock farms, which can also be financed through the Energy from Rural Areas programme. One of our projects was to install a photovoltaic system on our farm buildings. Since there was still space on the roofs and we already had a transformer station, we wanted to generate even more electricity through photovoltaic than we need for our own farm. Therefore, we built a photovoltaic system with 300 kilowatts peak in 2018. We then prepared a profitability calculation with Mr. Hergel and Rentenbank and checked whether this was feasible for our farm. We consume a small part of the electricity ourselves. When the sun is not shining, biogas electricity is used instead. Everything else is surplus, so we sell 95% of our produced electricity to the energy provider and feed it into the public electricity grid. As a farmer who is already very busy with day-to-day operations, renewable energy is a source of income that works very well without having to do any extra work. It's always tempting when you have rooftops and feed-in options. If photovoltaics is economically feasible, I really appreciate such a form of energy that can be realized with minimal effort. That was a criterion for me. What is more convincing than earning money without working? The reason we took out a loan with Rentenbank is that they finance and promote the Energy from Rural Areas programme. The conditions are very attractive. Moreover, Rentenbank reacts very quickly and specifically to our needs with regard to our agricultural background. The procedure is very uncomplicated and runs extremely smoothly for us. The farms in our region usually run as individual enterprises. It should be taken into account that the advice is not only aimed at the farm itself, but also at the personal circumstance of the respective client and aligns the counselling in a holistic way to the client. Collateral is a secondary relevance. Collateral is usually only one factor influencing the price. The most important thing for us is that the capital service capacity is given. Collateral is good for the interest on the loan, that is, for the price of the loan, but it is not decisive for granting a loan. We're here at the Brummer Farm. We manage about 70 hectares of cropland, 15 hectares of forest and about 1,100 fattening pigs, which are kept according to the German Initiative for Animal Welfare. We also have a photovoltaic system on our roofs with about 70 kilowatts used for our own consumption. My goal is to have a self-sufficient production system for our farm in the future. I would like to cover the pig's protein needs with soy or peas from our own production. Furthermore, the aim is to cover up to 70, 80, 90% of my farm's energy needs with additional battery storage. I installed a wood chip heating system this year. I use the wood from my own forest to heat the stables and the house. In the last 10 years, we have financed several projects with Volksbank. With the investment support, we financed a fertilizer spreader, other machines and the new construction of the barn according to the requirements of animal welfare. The investments included loans from Volksbank and Rentenbank. The farmer on this farm receives funding for 2 machines from the Federal Ministry's Agricultural Investment Programme. One is a fertilizer spreader, the other a crop protection sprayer. The subsidy for the machines is 40% of the purchase price. Therefore, the farmer applied for the 40% subsidy directly from Rentenbank. The remaining 60% is a promotional loan from Rentenbank, which he obtained from Rentenbank via his house bank. One component was the fertilizer spreader, which was financed through the program. The second component is a crop protection sprayer, which has been ordered but not yet delivered. This enables the application of crop protection and fertilizer with state-of-the-art technology. Economically, he saves expenses for pesticides and fertilizers. In addition, he contributes to the protection of the environment by the reduced use of pesticides and fertilizers. Due to the stricter fertilizer regulations, it's necessary for farms to use new machinery to apply fertilizer more precisely and accurately to the land, and above all, to use significantly less fertilizer. That is why the German Federal Ministry of Food and Agriculture has launched the Agricultural Investment Programme, which offers a non-repayable subsidy of 40%. Unlike loan financing, subsidies under this programme are limited. Consequently, you have to apply to receive subsidies. It's also possible to apply for a waiting position if the funds are already sold out. The investment programme is paid out in several phases. If you don't receive money in the first phase, you can reapply for the next tranche. The effort required to apply for subsidies is much higher than for loan financing. I have to be very clear, if the state grants financial support of 40%, that is also subject to conditions. For example, the farmer must submit 3 offers. Then, the farmer submits the application via an IT portal and contracts our bank. We forward the application to Rentenbank for financing. The farmer applies for the subsidy directly to Rentenbank. The financing is handled by us as the house bank, which then forwards it to Rentenbank. The subsidy part of the 40% is paid out directly via Rentenbank. The loan portion via the house bank. The Agriculture Investment Programme is funded by the Federal Ministry for Food and Agriculture. Rentenbank implements this program on behalf of the ministry. Which technology is funded? That is defined in a positive list. To be listed on the positive list, machines were assessed by experts in terms of their contribution to environmental and climate protection as well as emission reduction. The 40% subsidy motivated me to purchase, otherwise the technology would have been uneconomical. In short, the investment had two positive effects. Firstly, I have savings on fertilizers and pesticides, and secondly, it's a benefit for the environment. Legal requirements such as nitrate reduction obligation and the new fertilizer ordinance are a double-edged sword for me. On the one hand, we have to face these new environmental challenges, but on the other hand, it's very cost-intensive for us. In this respect, we can't finance everything at once. That is why the investment subsidy is an effective instrument to do so.